Greetings, Internet people. How are you all doing today? I'm actually doing pretty good. So, today we're doing kind of a response, obviously, by the title, but it's also going to kind of be its own little rant because I watched this video last night by one of my subscribers. He's been subscribed to me for a while. His one of his YouTube accounts is JMO1Link, but he also has a second account called JMO1Vlog on which he posted this particular video, and he said, "Don't you hate it?" Obviously, by the title, "Don't you just hate that prick that always ruins privileges on the job?" And I'm going to digress for a brief moment and say I thought it was really funny. At the beginning of his video I was watching, he was talking about losing the privileges to drink at his place of work. And at first, for some odd reason, I didn't make the connection that he works in a place like a restaurant that has a bar. And so I thought he was bitching about not being able to drink on the job, which just made me laugh. And if you actually watch the video that this is a response to, you'll see my comment to that general effect in the comment section. But I was thinking about it, and I really do actually hate when people fucking ruin privileges on the job, because I actually had an experience about a year ago which closely mirrors exactly what he was talking about, just in a kind of a different realm. As I mentioned in a recent video, one of the jobs that I've had in the past is a heating and air technician. I am HVAC certified, EPA, ICA, all that good shit. And for a while I was working as a service technician for a heating and air company, which if that doesn't get into your brain and you don't understand that, it basically means that when your air conditioner or your heater broke, excuse me, I was one of the guys that came to your house to fix it. And what that job entails basically is, once you've been with a certain company for a while and proven that you know your shit, you wind up being an on-call service technician, which means after your office has closed, in something like heating and air, you never know when one of these systems is going to break. So just because your office is closed doesn't mean you can't go out and provide service. So you have what's called an on-call technician, which means even though you've gone home for the day and your work day is over, at any point in time, your company phone could ring, and it was your boss basically saying, "We got a service call, you need to go out to location X and repair their system." And that was fine for a while, until we had one guy who basically ruined the privilege, and you have no clue what I'm talking about until I actually explain it. And what I'm talking about is the on-call service technician was allowed to take his service van home. He would leave his car in the parking lot of the office and take the service van home, so that if he got a call that was like, "Come and repair this system," he would just hop right in the van and go straight to the call. Well, that was basically a privilege. Most people in the service field would consider that a right, but it's basically a privilege when you work for a small company, because what basically happened was we had one service technician who got hired who would take his van home and then use the company gas account and all that shit to run his errands, and would even take the damn thing to the bar. And how we basically wound up finding out about this was that there was two ways, really. Number one was that the company vans are all GPS'd. For some odd reason, this fucking inbred idiot could not wrap his mind around that concept, and anywhere he took the van, the company knew about it. But what ended the privilege for the rest of us was, there was an evening where he took his van to a bar, apparently, and got into a fight in the parking lot, because the next day when he showed up at work with his van, there were huge fucking dents in the side of it, apparently from... It looked like someone had gotten thrown into the van or something like that, or someone had punched the van or kicked it or something. There was some sort of altercation where the van was basically damaged and needed some body work. And because of that, when the boss found that the van was damaged, he looked at the GPS record, saw that the guy was in a bar when the incidents basically happened, and removed the privilege of taking service vans home, which meant that when you were on call and you got a service call to your company phone, you had to drive to the office to pick up your van to then drive to the service call. And basically, the privilege of taking your van home was ruined by the guy who decided to take his van anywhere he felt like going, because you never know when you might get a service. One of the lame excuses that this asshole tried to give. And so then, as a service technician, I had to spend my own gas to get to the office, to get to my van, to get to a service call when I was the on-call technician. So the privilege of being able to take my van home was ruined by the asshole who just absolutely abused it. So, JMO1 link, JMO1 vlog, yes, I do absolutely hate it when that prick ruins a on-the-job privilege. And so basically that's pretty much what I had to say, but the ass end of this rant will basically be me just kind of giving advice to anybody who wants to take it. Whereas if there is an on-the-job privilege that you have, say you work at a fast food restaurant, and even though you're required to pay 50% discount or whatever to get some food, your manager says, you know what, go ahead and just take some food. Don't fucking take shit tons of food, because that will cause the cost to go up and your waste will go up, and then you'll wind up so that nobody will be able to take anything home for free. And that's just an example. Yeah, I mean, just basically all I can really do at this point is reiterate the point that I just made, which is if you have some sort of privileges at your job, do not abuse them or they will be removed. No doubt, no mystery whatsoever. It will inevitably happen, because you got to remember, even though your employer pays you and relies upon you to do a specific job, there are literally probably dozens, if not tens of, just hundreds of fucking applications sitting there waiting for someone to take your job. And you got to also remember that the term privileges means that they don't have to let you do these things. It's something that they do to keep you happy, to keep you productive. But if the privilege gets abused, it will be removed. Obviously. It's like, duh, hello. So, whatever you do for a living, if you have a job. I mean, I know a lot of my viewers, some of them don't even have jobs because I have a subscribership where, at least the stats tell me that a lot of you are in the age between 13 and 17, where some of you may not have a job. So it's kind of maybe a lookout for the future, whereas when you do eventually get a job, if you don't have one already, obviously. I know a lot of my more vocal subscribers who post comments and whatnot do have jobs. But, like I said, from the statistics, I have a lot of younger viewers. Once you do eventually get a job, do not abuse whatever privileges they give you, because they will be removed, and then your job will suck that much more, because we all have to work, and having a job absolutely fucking sucks. Some of us are lucky enough to do what we love for a living, but most of us, that is not the case. So if you have privileges at your job, do not abuse them, because they will be removed, and then your job will suck that much more. Yeah, that was redundant. But that's okay, because that's what I do. I'm RantingRamsay. That was a rant response thing video about privileges being removed at work. I think I need to cut down on my drinking a little bit. Anyway, I'm RantingRamsay. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?